Welcome to Last Week TeenPact. I'm your host, Seth, Wyatt. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, we begin with recent TeenPact news. In the most recent addition to the TeenPact office, Aaron Young, a 2017 traveling intern, has been hired as the registration manager just in time for registration season, which officially began on September 1st. The schedule has actually officially been set for the past few months, and most classes are roughly the same weeks as they were last year. Last month, TeenPact Congress 2017 occurred. It is always one of the most well-attended alumni events, and this year was no exception, with a record-breaking class size and a substantial wait list being created several months out from the event. The most heated debate for this year centered around Sine 006, which addressed the topic of high-capacity magazines and whether the right to wield such deadly weapons is covered under the Second Amendment. Also, the big news from this week. Representative Josh Cockcroft, who helped to create Congress and has been the program director for it every year since its founding in 2010, is stepping down from his role as program director and will be replaced by former TeenPact program director and guy who runs like an injured giraffe, Benjamin Sullivan. While Representative Cockcroft's departure is sad news indeed for all who had the pleasure of meeting him through TeenPact, the change in leadership could open many new doors for changes and improvements to the event. Our next topic tonight has to do with the 2017 TeenPact presidential election. As promised in our last episode, we're going to discuss more about the election and why and how we got the result that we did. As always, the on-site activities included both a vice president and a presidential debate on consecutive nights. The Hale McHugh ticket came into the debates fresh out of an exhilarating primary campaign over Roberts Holmes, with even more momentum than they had entered into the week with. The vice presidential debate preceded the presidential and was a very short affair, with the entire production spanning the length of less than 30 minutes, which worked out to around 6 minutes of speaking time for each candidate. By all accounts, each candidate turned in a solid debate performance, but with such a short amount of time speaking, there was no clear winner, and so in effect, because he already had momentum, Zach McHugh won because the debate was short. And he was rather short too. The presidential debate was a different story entirely, however. While again no candidate clearly stood above the others in terms of oratory ability or charisma, the debate was nearly 40 minutes long, and the result was very different, as one candidate had a unique way of getting the audience on his side.
Thank you, gentlemen. We will now be moving on to our second question. Give me a compelling reason why you chose your vice presidential running mate. We will start with Mr. Gause and end with Mr. Hale.
All right, it is story time. All right, so this is a fantastic story, by the way, so y'all should really be ready for this one. So back in January, when I was thinking about running for president, I was talking with my advisors, who shall not be named at this time. And so I was going through some different people, like, so what about this person? Would they be good? Like, yeah, that'd be good. Okay, what about him? Yeah, that'd be okay. Yeah. So what about Madeline Fryer? What do you think about her? Oh yeah, goals. Like, let's go. That'd be perfect. Like, awesome. And I was like, okay, sounds like a good idea. I think I'll ask her. And they're like, perfect, go for it. So next morning, staff training, get up, shakily get my coffee and walk up to her and like, can I talk to you, please? And she was like, sure. And so I asked her to run. She was like, yes. She said yes super quickly. She didn't think about it very long, which was concerning. And so I went back to my unnamed advisors and said, hey, so Maddie said yes, we're running. And they were like, why? I was like, what do you mean why? You guys said I should run with her. And they're like, no, we didn't. We definitely never did. I was like, oh, bunzo, what did I do? And some miscommunication happened. But honestly, it's been the greatest accident in history ever. Madeline has done a fantastic job, and I couldn't be more blessed to have run with her this year.
In a tense and stressful atmosphere of a debate, Jonathan Goss used his humor to his advantage, as he made the audience laugh and presented himself as a relatable and down-to-earth candidate. The audience thought he was the coolest thing since sliced bread, which is ironic because that's exactly what his hair looks like. Through this, he established himself as a solid third option to the more established Booterbaugh and Hale campaigns. In fact, rough polling data entering the week of TeenPact National Convention had Goss with roughly half the support of the other two campaigns. It seems that through his performance, Jonathan Gause was able to collect many of the disenfranchised Roberts Holmes voters. So even though there was not an obvious winner to the debate, Gause-Fryer benefited from it the most by far. As the debate moved on, candidates moved into healthcare discussion. Alex Hale likened a mixed system of healthcare to a Starbucks unicorn frappe. But both Gause and Buterbaugh refuted this statement, saying that the American church was not in a position to be able to provide for all the people in our country on Medicare. When asked a question about why he believed they were qualified for the position of TeenPact president, Brent Buterbaugh responded about he and his vice president by explaining that he and Tommy had a vision, and that vision included TeenPacters embracing the true mission of the ministry.
Well, as Jonathan said, all of us are sinful and broken individuals, and none of us are distinctly qualified to be the president or vice president of TeenPact. But the position of president and vice president is a position of representation. The president and the vice president represent the student body of TeenPact. And Tommy and I believe that we have a vision, and a vision that we can set forward as the students of TeenPact. And so it's all too easy to take TeenPact and to come here just for a fun week or a fun experience with friends, or in the opposite extreme, to view TeenPact as your primary connection to the body of Christ. But in reality, it is neither. TeenPact is a unique training grounds, a unique community to come and be inspired by others. But it is not forever. And we want to see every one of you take what you have learned from TeenPact and take it beyond TeenPact. I think we need to ask ourselves, are we living for TeenPact? Are we living week to week waiting for the next event? Or are we living from TeenPact? Are we going from TeenPact to the world?
Thank you.
With that being said, folks, I want to be serious for a second. Now, the mission statement of TeenPact is as follows. TeenPact Leadership Schools seeks to inspire youth in their relationship with Christ and train them to understand the political process, value their liberty, defend the Christian faith, and engage the culture at a time in their lives when typically they do not care about such things. Notice, the mission statement does not say, and engage TeenPact at a time in their lives when typically they do not care about such things. TeenPact is not meant to, and was never meant to, become life. It was meant to prepare for life. For this reason, the oft-cited post-TeenPact depression is an unfortunate, erroneous, and misleading concept. TeenPact events should leave you excited to engage your culture, not regretting that you're unable to live the 4-day class for eternity. There's plenty of evidence, aside from the mission statement itself, that preparedness is TeenPact's goal. Successful former TeenPacters such as Oklahoma State Representatives Josh Cawcroft and Elise Hall, Florida State Representative Jennifer Sullivan, noted Liberty University graduate Ben Solom, who got to lead the Pledge of Allegiance for the graduating class 5 feet away from President Trump, and wildly popular and successful Instagram and Pinterest model McBride Campbell, show us that TeenPact can do what it claims: train youth to engage the culture. It is for these reasons and many others that we should be living from TeenPact and not for TeenPact. TeenPact prepares us for life, and we should not cling to it, for that would defeat its purpose. This season of Last Week TeenPact has afforded us some legendary moments, and we've had a lot of fun along the ride. We had Krista Kaufman give a thorough and definitely accurate summary of Venture. We formed the Special Relationship Games, where we lost many of our TeenPact brothers and sisters to the steely grip of romance. We crowned David Taylor king of the TeenPact Guy Hair Competition. We interviewed our new president and vice president to discover their vision for the upcoming year and to see if Alex really was a figurehead. And last, but certainly not least, we got into an altercation with former TeenPact president and guy who wears kilts to family dinner, McBride Campbell, which culminated in him branding me as a charming peasant on his Instagram story for his 30,000 followers to see. I took the insult to heart, and it proudly sits in my Instagram bio to this very day. That brings us to the big reveal of our show today. While Last Week TeenPact will live on in its second season, it will not live on with me. This is my last episode as host of this amazing program. I must move on in the spirit of TeenPact. The spirit of TeenPact, that's mission, is to prepare and release students to value their liberty and defend their faith. I'm going to college in the fall. I'm beginning a new chapter of my life. But that's what TeenPact is all about. TeenPact is not about residing within the four walls of the TeenPact experience. We're called to live beyond the walls. TeenPact exists to prepare us for the extraordinary, to prepare us to engage our culture. One last time.
Seth, you wanted to speak to me?
I know you're busy.
What do you need, bro? Bro?
I need a favor.
Whatever you say, bro. College will pay for this behavior.
Talk less.
Yes, you applied. You can finally speak
No.
your mind.
I'm stepping down. I'm not hosting the show again.
I'm sorry, what?
One last time. Relax, have a tea with me. One last time. Let's take a break tonight, and then we'll teach them how to say goodbye. To say goodbye. You and I.
No, bro, why?
I want to talk about legality.
With TeenPact and Worldview on the verge of
I
war,
want to warn against partisan fighting.
But-
Pick up a pen, start writing. I want to talk about what I have learned, the hard-won wisdom I have earned.
as far as the students are concerned, you have to host. You could continue to host.
One last time, the students will hear from me. One last time, and if we get this right, we're gonna teach them how to say goodbye. You and I.
Seth, they will say you're weak.
No, they will see we're strong.
Your position so unique.
So I'll use it to move them along.
Why do you have to say goodbye?
If I say goodbye, the show learns to move on. It outlives me when I'm gone. One last time.
Seth Wyatt is going home.
Teach him how to say goodbye.
Seth Wyatt is going
One last time. One last time. I'm Seth Wyatt. I'm the host of Last Week TeenPact.
And I'm Dylan Weatherly, the cameraman for Last Week TeenPact.
And this has been Last Week TeenPact. Sine die.